Hey guys, it's your main man Mike from EAKCrewProductions, and today we're gonna quickly go over my Lightsworn build. I call this LS Backrow. So let's get into it. Alright, first we have Aaron Lightsworn Monk. This card is pretty good. I only run it at 1 just because this format's not too steady, but like this would have been good when Girgas were a better deck and people were playing more Raikos and things like that. But because of the monster you attack does still flip, and then it returns to the deck. Alright, Garroth, I ran 2 Garroth just because he can give you, he has the ability to go from 0 to 2 when it comes to plussing, and he's an 1850, so he gets over quite a lot of like 4s and lower monsters that get summoned to the board. Jane, I run triple Jane, and I run triple Jane because of the fact that she mills 2, but she can actually get over like a warwolf that doesn't have a tanky in the back row, and gets over things like Thunder King, which I think is super important. I run 3 Lumina, Lightsworn Summoner. This card was just recently put at 3, and one of the reasons why I think Lightsworns are even somewhat viable. Personally, I probably wouldn't play this deck on a tournament level, past locals, but I think this deck could actually do pretty well at a locals. Alright, so 3 Lumina, Lightsworn Summoner. Great plays, you can keep her out. I like to keep her out, try to get out like Lilas to pop back rows and things of that nature. Always try to ditch a Necro Gardener if you have one. 3 Lila, Lightsworn Sorceress. I run 3 because even on the local levels you will find people that are using like Dimensional Fissure and Macro and things like that. So you need Lila because she's your monster MST. So she is somewhat of a beater with 1700 attack, but she can also get rid of those Macros and Dimensional Fissures that are going to really hurt you. 2 Raiko, just because it as well can get rid of Macros and Dimensional Fissures, but because it's a set monster, to get its effect, it causes you to play a little bit slower. And the thing about this format is that it's so quick. So running 3 Raikos I think is a mistake because you're probably not going to get it off if they just discard a Marksman. Especially since they don't have to save their marksmen for like your face down back row, or at least they won't think they do, because we are, as you can see, running 5 traps. Alright, 2 Wolf Lightsworn Beast. I think running it at 3 is a little bit too cloggy. Running it at 3 is a little too cloggy, but running it at 2 seems to be just right. I often mill one of them, and rarely ever actually draw one, and I don't think I have yet to draw both of them, so pretty good. Then Judgment Dragon, main boss monster of the deck. You kind of just keep him in your hand until you can go for game, and then you summon him out, blow up the field, and go for whatever you got. And of course there's always Starlight Road, which could be an issue, but that's another reason why we have like the Lumina, or I'm sorry, not the Lumina, the Lila, so that we can try to get rid of cards like that in the back row. Honest, it's kind of in the boss monster section. I mean, it turns any of your monsters into a boss monster for a round, So Honest is great, and there is some recursion with him. I love the fact that he can be bounced back to your hand, so you can set him down for protection with his 1900 defense, and then once he's flipped, return him back to your hand on your turn. Gorz, the Emissary of Darkness, this is one of your boss monsters, helps you from getting OTK'd, along with Tragodia, which also is OTK prevention, and unless you're just dumping a lot of stuff for Lumina, you will probably have a pretty big hand with this deck. So, it's a very good card. Alright, Blackluster Soldier. Now, we are only running 4 dark monsters, but honestly, in a Lightsworn deck, that is enough, and half the time you're probably going to mill your BLS anyways. Now we have 2 Necro Gardener. Necro Gardener is very good. I'm running it at just 2, even though I think 3 is viable, but because of the trap space that I wanted to add in, I lowered it to 2. 1 charge of the Light Brigade, mill 3, pick any Lightsworn, pretty self-explanatory, followed by the Trinity, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Reborn, and then of course the Trinity's little brother, Monster Reincarnation, which discard one, so like discard a Necro Gardener, pick up an Honest, and now you can ram any monster into them to win. Pick up a Judgment Dragon so you can blow up the field. Pick up a BLS that you milled so that you can remove and banish and do all that junk. Pick up a Lila so that you can go for the safe play to destroy their one back row before summoning your JD. Things like that. One MST because you have the 3 Lilas, although MST2 could be very good in this deck. You're definitely setting MSTs in during match round 2 and 3, if it goes that far. Pot of Avarice, phenomenal card. I don't know if I'd cite this out even if you were playing against Macro, just because if you get rid of the Macro, you're probably going to have had cards in your hand waiting to let you mill, so it would instantly become live. 3 Solar Recharge speeds this deck up so much. I mean, if Charge was at 3 as well, this deck would be top tier. Like tier 1. It would be a tier 1 deck. Breakthrough Skill. This card is very good. It's pretty much this deck's version of an Effect Veiler, only I like it a little bit more of an Effect Veiler because even if you mill it, you're going to be able to negate a monster effect at some point in time. Helps you get over Thunder Kings and Roaches that your opponent summons, and like a Jogan, anything that like stops your special summons or is making you unable to go into your JD play via monster effect. Breakthrough Skill will get rid of. Mirror Force, it's just that one up that can really change the game. And 2 Torrential Tributes, just because you're not really committing that much onto the board until you're about to win. So keeping your opponent's monster count down is very crucial. The extra deck is 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Blade Armor Ninja, 1 Diagusto Emerald, even though I do believe this is OCG, so I don't bring it out, but I have it in there because the space is going to be there for it when it's TCG legal. Gaga Cowboy, this card can win games. We've got Excalibur, also wins games, and you're wondering, like, what am I making that with? These guys, they're all warriors. Then we have the Leviers. You can bring back like a Banished Lumina or any of your banished Lightsworns, really, so that you can go into some better plays. Maybe you can bring back a Lila and then pop their back row. Maybe you even want to just bring back a Necro Gardener so that you can have a protected play or something like that. Maystroke, this card's too good. Shockmaster, not impossible to go into, even though it can be kind of tricky, but I've milled Wolf before and then got into going to Shockmaster. Number 17, Leviathan Dragon, Levier. But Leviathan Dragon's very good. He's your out to a lot of big beat sticks on the field. Utopia, he can slow roll your opponent so that you can get some of your mills off and eventually go for the JD summon. And he also happens to be light, so you can drop Honest. Really good. Number 50, Black Ship of Corn. Card gets rid of Zen Mains and Spirit Reaper, which the deck can have issues with. Photon Packrel Operative, once again, gets rid of Spirit Reaper, but it can also give you that extra oomph for game, flipping one of their useless monsters like a controller or something into attack mode and getting the minus 600 attack so that you can go for game. Star Liege, one of the best Exceeds for this deck that have come out ever. 2 for level 4 light monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 2 XYZ materials from this card to target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes 0, and if it does, its effects are negated. When this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect, and sent to the graveyard, draw 1 card. So really phenomenal. It's pretty much a guaranteed out to any one monster your opponent has, and is going, even though you have to use 2 monsters to make it because it's an Exceed, it gives you a card back when it disappears. So, extremely good. Tempo gets rid of those Zen Mains, things like that. Helps you detach different things off of your opponent's XYZs that maybe could make them troublesome. And 1 Wind Up Zen Mains, just because it lets you slow roll and start milling, getting what you need, popping macros. Alright, that's your main man Mike from EAK Crew Productions. I'll see you guys later. Peace.